COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. Symptoms of this respiratory disease may include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. These symptoms may show up 2 to 14 days after exposure. If you are experiencing these symptoms and have come into contact or are in an area with an ongoing outbreak, please call a hotline and/or consult with a physician. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
Welcome to Cinekuest Video.
This one will drive you absolutely mad.
The riots began because the stores could not meet the demands of Sutter Cane's novel, In the Mouth of Madness.
Cane disappeared 2 months ago without a trace.
He's the guy that writes horror books.
You can forget about Stephen King. Kane outsells them all. I need to know if he's alive or dead, and I need that book.
It's a setup. I just have to work out how it's set up.
Kane's writing has been known to have an effect on his readers.
See this? It's a map.
This whole thing has been staged.
You just get out.
This is not reality.
It's all happening for real, Trent.
I know this book will drive people crazy.
Well, let's hope so. The movie comes out next month.
This one was a little bit more loose. And welcome to Cinekuest Video, the podcast that delves deep into those VHS classics to the modern day format and beyond. Today we're going to be talking about the movie In the Mouth of Madness. And this is, again, part 2.0, the remix. And this is going to conclude, again, our Apocalypse trilogy for this month.
From the man, the legend, John Carpenter.
John motherfucking Carpenter.
Which was a bit out of his usual wheelhouse of movies. Say, like,
This one was wild. Like, I really think like this movie was not something he attached himself to and like produced, like, and made.
Music for sure was like his first time touching a guitar or something. I don't know. Like, it sounded very like almost glam metal or whatever, hairy crazy hair rock throughout or whatever.
Well, this movie wasn't written by him. It was written by Michael DeLuca, which apparently he had asked John Carpenter when he first wrote the screenplay if he wanted to be a part of it, and he refused. He didn't want to be a part of it.
And then later on, when did this movie come out, dude?
That goes on to direct it. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, 1994.
94. Okay, so when he got it later.
So this was after Jurassic Park, right? For Sam Neill, because wasn't Jurassic Park like 92 or 93?
Yeah, actually,
or earlier.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if Sam Neill's rising star went high enough.
I only know
talking about
Jurassic Park and Mouth of Madness.
Park 3.
Well, apart from Jurassic Park, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I know mostly from.
But I don't know what else he's done. Like
Jurassic Park, Horizon.
It was Event Horizon, In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh yeah.
He played, and this was before any of this. He played Damien. On The Omen 3, and that's. I mean, those are the movies I primarily know him from. I don't know Sam Neill from much of anything else. And then of course we said Jurassic Park 3. Right? So again, John Carpenter, was he?
No, like he's going to be.
Oh, he is going to be. Oh,
yeah, the news.
Oh, because they're doing like Jurassic World again, right? Like
2 or Jurassic Universe or whatever.
Didn't they already do Jurassic World 2?
Yeah, they did
Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was.
Are you telling me he comes in on like the third part of movies? There's Damien 3.
Exclusively. Well, he was the first Jurassic Park, But now
that'd be pretty funny, man. Actually,
Dominion.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Every trilogy movie has Sam Neill in it in some role.
Yeah.
Fuck. This conspiracy's in the We're on the Rug segment for that.
Yeah, you know he was a droid in Star Wars, right? Rise of Skywalker.
Did he also come out in like Return of the Jedi?
Yeah. He was one of the stormtroopers there.
That's true.
It was one of his first roles. No.
He also came out in Revenge of the Sith, also, right?
Yeah, he was one of the little. They CGI'd him as a child, and he was one of the younglings Anakin slaughtered.
You know, this should be a scholarly article on JSTOR. Sam Neill's presence.
So to our listeners, I'm not sure the offer's still available, but JSTOR, which if you don't know, is a huge academic database full of all sorts of goodiness. It's available free to you now because of coronavirus. Yeah. So if there's one nice thing that's happened with COVID, apparently the ivory tower has cracked its doors a little bit to the rest of us.
Yeah, right. Because it's all gone down to shit now. So
you know, I really miss JSTOR, man. I used to read those articles all the time.
They got to figure out a way to.
Dude, is this like the start of fucking Isaac Asimov's Foundation series? So the way we go about it, though, is that we put all the information public, and then the public downloads it, and then later that gets put in the great library after the
apocalypse or the rapture. Or
the rapture.
I can't remember what the fuck happens, but there's like a period of galactic decay or whatever. And the first book of the Foundation series, which is actually like a prequel to it, is really cool because they talk about this thing called psychohistory, where this mathematician is able to use math to basically look at the trajectories of the future. Mm-hmm. And it's not like foreseeing, but he can look at trends and he foresees like some downfalls and shit. And so he starts it's the Foundation project where they try to shore up all of humankind's knowledge into a vault, basically, and then had some people to protect it as all this shit went down in the Galactic Empire.
So like, Federation Wikipedia.
You know what? I just didn't even come to mind right now. That we are doing the Apocalypse trilogy, and we're in the middle of this whole COVID virus thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not running out to go places apart from work right now.
Yeah, we're in the middle of like a minor apocalypse right now, right. Minor apocalypse scenario, so to speak.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. So we talked about this trilogy and like the connections between it, and it was primarily end of the world themed. And for In the Mouth of Madness, I think we talked about it on the previous podcast of Prince of Darkness, was that Daniel, I think you brought it up, that the thing was the end of the self, the Prince of Darkness was the end of God or something, and then that In the Mouth of Madness was the end of reality.
Yeah, it was all about the destruction of, and I don't remember what website I pulled it from, but yeah, it was like destruction of the self, of religion, and then of reality. And actually, I'm going to pull up my old notes on the thing where I wrote out like how these movies are similar and think about it in that light. I didn't do that for Prince of Darkness, which I probly should have. It's like how all of these work as a trilogy, and
we're still going to have like more to go into.
We'll go through the movie like in a brief, not like minute by minute kind of thing, but we'll do an overall discussion of it in just a moment.
Yeah.
Damn it! I don't know where that file went. That sucks.
Save yourself. At least a portion of saving yourself.
Well, I mean, I've got AOMX best of 2020. I've got fucking Only the Strong. I got there it is. Notes for the thing. There you go. I actually titled it something proper.
Cool. And I just scribbles. Like I've got a page full of notes here for.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's just like alternative names.
One of them I think that is very salient is how the evil is transferred to humans physically. So you have in the thing, you have the. Actually, it just copied shit. So I don't know how it really took over people, so to speak.
It gets exposed to their blood, and then just like Trent changes them.
Does it like infect the blood and then it just morphs within? At a rapid pace.
That actually wasn't clear because actually all the other movies, it was pretty clear about the transmission of evil.
Like germinates in the body, and then when it feels they're threatened or
because it was a very like physical position, like bonding thing. Because you have like Sutter Cane with the little dude on his back, and then Prince of Darkness, you have spitting, backwash at people, and apparently that turns them into like
you have the fucking
fourth dimensional harbinger being sort of thing.
Yeah, across the mirror.
Not harbinger, but yeah.
I mean them too. We argue is that fucking thing has like all those crazy weird powers and shit. Not to even mention the homeless folks and like their weird view.
And all three are super Lovecraftian, but Mouth of Madness is the most directly related, I feel.
I mean,
just from calling them like the old ones or whatever,
As far as the scope for it, it's a much larger scope than like, the apocalypse and the Thing, which is basically just like, okay, from person to person in this small area, like this is going to try to survive, and if that goes out to the rest of the world, they're going to be fucked. And then like in Prince of Darkness, you have this same thing or whatever, sort of like,
but it's coming though. That's the thing.
A small infection that's like supposed to lead to the apocalypse, and or as well. And then lastly, with
if they didn't think to break the mirror, that was the apocalypse right there.
That one like is basically like if the first two succeeded. I guess actually that's literally what it would be, because like this guy infects them through the written word.
Well,
whatever.
All three movies, I think, suggest success for the bad guys
to some degree,
because you have in the Thing, you have
like didn't they all they left it ambiguous? You couldn't tell if it
you couldn't tell. It was like McCarty or where the fuck Beautiful Snake Plissken was in that movie, and the other dude. And then you have in Prince of Darkness, you have dipshit Brian or whatever trying to reach into the mirror after his like space or his now interdimensional punani.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then in this one, like the world, like,
but you don't really know. You see shit breaking. You see shit breaking out. You see the Sam Neill going. Watch the film version. It's
kind of like
but you don't know for certain.
Prince of Darkness, like they had actually walked through that mirror, dead, like a window that just got torn the fuck out. Shit. I mean,
are you talking about the ending of the movie where like he's about to touch it and then it cuts away?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the other part where they actually break the mirror?
No.
No. With right the dude reaching into the mirror.
Yeah, right before that.
At the very end, right?
Yeah, when they're towards it. And then, so what kind of bugged me about, so like you guys remember the scene though in Mouth of Madness where like the door rips apart and it breaks the fourth wall or whatever.
Yeah.
But like of reality, because like you see like the text or whatever Sutter Cane's writing on the inside of the, I guess, hole in the wall. On the other side of it, rather, when all those fucking like creatures come out at him, like I saw a making of clip of it at one point. Like these guys did a shitload of work apparently for that like 1 10-second stretch of time where Sam Neill's character is running down the corridor and being chased. Like, do you guys? I thought that was such a cool like underused scene. Like it sucked to like read about it after the fact because
what
they shot it really
about was that they had glimpses of that runaway, the running through the tunnel scene and seeing the creatures like on the side and behind them. They showed that a little bit earlier in the movie, but I think they probably could have had that weaved in a little bit more, like maybe into his dreams or something, and that would have been really cool.
Actually, up until that point, I was kind of pretty happy with the amount of like monster movies they were showing us. Like I thought they were pretty smart about how, or I mean, conservative, right, about how they showed either full screen or side screen or whatever, anything with having to do with.
Well, yeah, because I think if you show the monster like full on, and even for a prolonged amount of time, it kind of kills the effect.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, but like, I mean, in that, like, it was just as opposed to the Thing where there's just like a lot of screen time for all this fucked up, like body horror. This one was a lot more conservative. There's, I guess, more subtle with it. And I liked it up until that point because the scale of the amount of, like just the shit that they had going on the screen at that point, again, with him running down the corridor and this just like wall of teeth and fucking claws and shit coming after him. It seemed to me like that there was a lot there that they could have, done with. Like, it just seemed really cool. It was like, oh, fuck, that's crazy. And then, he just fucking blacks out and boom, like that's the end of it kind of thing.
Well, I think that kind of fits within the destruction theme that I stole from somebody, because you have destruction of the self in the Thing, so you have all that body horror. So I think it's also reflected in like the visual art of the movies. So you have all that body horror bullshit going on in the Thing to work with the destruction of the self. Then destruction of religion, which actually I think, apart from the major plot, the whole like, or not, actually it was the major plot of the movie, but it was so undersold about the whole, like, that one, we talked about in the episode, that 2-minute scene where they talk about how, Jesus was an alien and all this bullshit. And so
Satan is the son of the space.
And so I feel like overall, like without like that, like 2-minute scene, I think that movie really failed entirely in trying to sell the destruction of religion idea.
Yeah, I actually think that at the mouth of madness or whatever, never gonna get it right.
And then the destruction of reality
has a closer tie to that one than
there is a de-emphasis upon the body horror and all that shit, because it's Sam Neill basically losing his shit, because that's how reality actually is. Like, reality gets broken.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of fuck, man. Maybe I think I actually just kind of gained a whole new appreciation for this trilogy with the whole like visual art form intersecting with the idea of these themes that are allegedly within these movies.
It's almost cool. Like fucking Madness or whatever took like elements and themes and I would have to say even fucking, I don't know if they reused any props or whatever, but from the Thing and Prince and like put them into At the Mouth.
How do you figure?
Well, like, so like how we were talking about how these like particular things failed here and there, like you can see them both as like culminating in the mouth. And there's gotta be like a shorter way to say this fucking movie's name. It's so tiresome to repeat it so much. So like, you have the body horror in the Thing and like how it goes through everyone. You can see that in Mouth of Madness, and then in the same, like, again, how you see those like the semi or like half-baked destruction of religion in Prince of Darkness, and you see that directly in Mouth of Madness again, where Sutter Cane convinces an entire population to read his book more than the Bible. I mean, that was like
also okay, going back to the theme of like
those are like
the destruction or whatever, but where's going to go with this? I'm just trying to think about like that rampant that Carpenter had in his movies, destruction of self, religion, reality, and where you have less ambiguity, the more microscopic you go in view. So super ambiguous, probably not a lot of impact in the Thing. Mm-hmm. Then that jumps a little bit in Prince of Darkness, and then it's way more overt in Mouth of Madness, if that makes any sense.
Sure. That was more or less along the same lines that I was thinking.
I just took 20 minutes of Roland Garble and put it into 2 words, which works.
Are you saying like things become like less tangible as the movies progress? I mean, because I mean you have, like you said, physical.
I actually really believe. I wasn't even really thinking about it from that perspective. I was thinking about just how the way these various themes are portrayed and how overt they are and their successes. But I really like that idea you just brought up, which beer made me forget. So
what were you saying again though? Like physical.
I said as the movies progress, like they get less like physically tangible. I mean, because you said in the thing, it's like there's a lot of physicalness that goes on with the actual taking over of the speech.
Actually, yeah, I like that.
Said,
and in Prince of Darkness, there's a lot of tangible stuff because you have like the Bible-based shit, and you have like mirrors to touch. You have,
and then in Mouth of Madness, it's all in the mind, so you can't really.
Yeah, it's all that visual shit. Yeah.
There's no
so
way
once
to
again, I think that depiction of
it's
the way like the visual art is depicted goes well within like the overall arcs of these movies, which is So I'm actually really intrigued when we get to the concludium episode where we talk about all three of these. Because I'm going to go back and watch all three of them and think of them as like a unit or whatever. But I think this discussion we've had so far about some of these, trends or whatever you want to call them, we've found.
What ways?
Well, I guess we should write a paper to follow on these movies. But just I guess getting back to actual physical.
Oh, back to the movie, yeah. Oh, that's right. We're not at the conclusion.
I haven't even gotten to like the synopses.
Well, the synopsis again. What we've been talking about as far as like the reality and kind of not knowing what is what in this situation. We start off the movie with the doctor it just comes out in the very beginning and kind of like somewhere in the middle. And the main character is John Trent, played by Sam Neill, and he's a patient in a psychiatric hospital. And basically, he recounts his story. I don't recall it. It's kind of like just a faceless figure, right? At some point, or like it does turn into someone he's talking to in the actual psychiatric ward.
Oh no, it's not. It doesn't even start off as a faceless person. Like he, it starts off he's being dragged in by the porters or whatever.
Yeah.
And kicks one of them in the balls or whatever, and I'm surprised they don't beat the shit out of him, but they throw him in a little padded room.
Sorry about the balls.
Up comes another therapist or some like doctor from another hospital that's going to talk to him.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so like basically Sam Neill is a insurance investigator, and he's been hired to.
Well, he's an insurance fraud investigator.
Fraud investigator, excuse me. And he is hired he's hired by a publishing company that is searching for their bread and butter artist or author. Sutter Cane, because he's gone missing, and of course he's there to investigate on whether or not they collect their insurance money on the actual author
how
himself.
They like reference Stephen King or whatever his little thing like.
Yeah, it's like if Stephen King dropped off like right before fucking It was dropped,
Yeah. Well, like, what do you remember what the line was?
That's the impact,
What was that?
Well, do you remember what the line was for that?
That he sells more
styles.
You're still attention.
About selling more copies of the Bible or whatever. Yeah.
No, that's later on.
Well, it sounds like he's more read than Stephen King. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Roland, you actually got her name right, Linda Stiles. You were.
Oh, it's because I'm looking at the IMDb here. So.
No, you didn't have anything to look at the last time.
This bitch fooled me last time, yeah, but it's style. Right, yeah. So I mean, Sutter Cane's name itself is a like play on joke or whatever for Stephen King.
Yeah, they both have the same first letter and last.
Yeah, it's almost like an homage to him,
or at least phonetic sounding letter.
So Trent's character
same syllables, yeah.
Like he knows nothing about this author. He knows nothing about this fucking like a trend that is apparently like fucking frenzying through the nation or the world when they hire him. And so he goes and he fucking like, what's the name of that movie with like the fucking like the not like the paper boy, like the bus boy or whatever they have, you know, like working in the bottom of a business, and like he fucking like takes all those pins and draws lines and shit all over the walls. Is that like fuck?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm trying to remember this stupid fucking like scene from a movie that basically like this Trent dude goes and does that with Sutter Cane's books. Like he fucking reads them all and then like tears off the title pages and like fucking, you know, takes some safety scissors to him and apparently puts together a map. Like,
right.
How he researches the whole thing. I was trying to think of a way to fucking explain it because it is so fucking stupid, ridiculous. It's just like,
are you talking about like when he gets the book covers, cuts them out, and then makes bullshit. The map?
Yeah, exactly. And it just so happens that this map overlays, and by just so happens to overlay, I mean it actually doesn't. He pulls the shit out of his ass, but he overlays a map or transparency over it, saying, "Oh, it fits here." But and the thing, why I want to call bullshit on that is because the owner, who's played by oh fuck, what the hell is the name? Charlton Heston.
Yeah, he's the
and Stiles' character are like, how did you find this out? This isn't on any maps. It doesn't line up to anything. And he's like, well, actually, like if we go there and just check, like I think is what he sort of says, like you'll see that I'm right. Like,
yeah,
I don't think he actually
demonstrates that he knows this. Yeah,
it's like, oh no, this is totally like not batshit crazy or whatever at all. I wasn't drinking. I don't do drugs. You know, like. I am professional, man. And here is how I sniff out the bullshit. Like, what? Do you like? It makes me kind of wonder, like, how his other fucking cases went. You know, did he? Like, was he like?
Well, you saw that he just had somebody dead to rights somehow because he was able to find their like side bitches and follow them around and take.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, I guess he'd have to go through all their fucking trash and. I don't know.
Well, what else do you think PIs do, man?
I know, but like it just sounds so gross to me to think about. Because
you know, Roland, you should become a PI.
Ew.
Just investigate people, bro.
Yeah.
Do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to be a professional lurker. Fucking creepo. So yeah, he fucking like Sherlock MacGyver's out this map. Fucking brings it back to him.
Nice.
I don't know how long they're driving, right? Like, Styles goes.
Well, you don't know for sure because time kind of like.
Yeah, it's like a driving.
It's wibbly wobbly and all that shit.
When she's
in the fucking clouds, man.
Thank you, doctor.
They decide to go like visit the town that
is it timey-wimey too?
Yeah, it is.
Like, map of bullshit.
Wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey.
And yeah, so like when they're going out there, Styles like starts like hallucinating or just seeing crazy shit, and that was actually one of my favorite scenes.
See, and I love that scene, and this is why I think that like this entire movie is bullshit because like Styles was there. Styles was there.
I mean, so like this isn't like oh fuck, this isn't like the thing where you're left guessing necessarily about like, you know, who shot what and where now. Because they fucking like they wrap up all these little neat details in like one or two fucking lines at different points in the movie. So, I mean, it's a cool argument, but it's also kind of dumb how they're just like, oh, you know, this is the way this is the author's power over reality, and you know that answers that question. But so, what happened? Like I remember there was two parts to that scene. Like first, Styles hits what she thinks is a kid on a bike.
No. She sees a kid. She sees a kid on the bike.
Exactly.
Riding in the direction that she's driving.
Yeah, in the opposite direction.
And then he kind of like disappears behind her. Then they keep on going, and then she sees the old man.
Bust him head on.
He passes her first.
Oh, does
and then
he?
She's kind of she's kind of confused. She looks back, and then she's kind of like looking in the rearview mirror. Yeah. Then at some point he comes back and like he appears again, and then she hits him. Yeah.
And that's when
and I think it's supposed to be the kid. Like
exactly. Yeah. So this was like I guess the first introduction of like a break with reality or whatever. And I find it funny that like Trent wasn't even the one to first experience it. unless you include his dream sequences or whatever. That was kind of nifty because like they did it to like the 4th, 5th fucking power or whatever. It's like you know you guys have seen movies where it's like, oh, this is the dream within the dream, and so this one, like, he must have woke up like 4 times or whatever within I think the same sequence. So I was like, huh. After the second, I was like, haha, you know, after the third, I kind of chuckled. And after the fourth, I was like, man, yeah, you're fucked.
And that
like,
when he was dreaming within the dream, that's when he saw the agent, Sutter Cane's agent, like saying,
yep.
I forgot what he says, and then like those people surround him with the ads, and you start like fucking hacking away.
Do you read?
Do you want some of this, buddy, or something like that?
Do you read Sutter Cane?
No, but that's the cop, and then at some point, like, there's a group of them.
And I think he sees the cop 3 times. The first time he passes, like, his face is kind of fucked up, and then the second time he gets chased over into there by the hobos, and then the last time he's in his bed or whatever, isn't he?
Yeah.
Turns over, and the cop is there, like, "Hey, baby," and I think there was one more, not like.
Roland, are you tapping on the mic stand?
Yeah,
I think he is.
Stop doing that,
dude. Do you usual like weird like borderline autistic spectrum, like hands, you know, manipulation in the air?
Yeah,
play with
I don't like that.
fingers and shit.
It's just weird and distracting. I'd much rather just like find something else to... yeah, so we go.
It's like your safety sweater.
That is my spit guard from all of these disgusting people out and about in my world, breathing up all my air. Now, so okay, we left off with her, you know, hitting the old man kid. She gets off the car and like is freaking out, and Trent's character gets down as well, or Trent's character, Sam Neill's character Trent gets down as well, only to find that the old man is fine. You know, like, he gets back up on his bike.
Well, she doesn't even see him get up. He kind of just magically gets back on the bike, and then
like she goes up to him, and like while Sam Neill's character is still in the car, she goes up to the old man kid, and the kid just, what does the kid say? He won't let me die.
He won't let me leave.
Won't let me leave.
Yeah. He won't let me leave.
And then like she Styles' character is just, keep saying that's entertaining. Styles goes and is just like, "Oh, are you okay?" She turns away for a second, you know, as Trent walks up, and then like you said, the kid just like magically appears on his fucking bike, like heading off. When they get back in the car, I think though the second part of that scene was when apparently the road disappears out from under the car. And
she looks down
like driving on air.
She's driving on like the clouds or some shit.
Right, she's driving on top of a storm, basically, fucking like lightning, and
then they hit the tunnel, right? And then they pass through the tunnel. All of a sudden it's daylight, and then Sam Neill wakes up. He's like, "Oh, hey."
They like, she appears at the out of what turns out to be, as she turns around, like a wooden bridge tunnel, which was only like 40 or 50 feet long. Like, it's pretty short.
Yeah.
And
can I ask you a question? Have you guys ever experienced anything that disorienting when you're driving? Every time I see that scene, I think I told you the last time, and Daniel, I'm not too sure if you remember me saying this, is that driving at night, I've experienced like seeing weird shit on the road.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And I saw like a giant purple pig, which it seemed like to be at the end of the road, but there was no end of the road, you know, like it kind of just, there's a giant purple pig just there.
Damn.
And I would just stare at it for the longest time. But I mean, as you,
right,
and you never reach it, you know, it's always in the same amount of distance from you, from the car.
Pig.
And Roland, we did mention that this wasn't anything that we were hallucinating, that we saw like that half torso body out in the road when we were coming back from Corpus. Yeah.
That was a nice call. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
But again, if you would like to listen to that tidbit of a story, you can listen to the first version of this episode. That'll be tacked on to the end of this one.
Boy.
Continue.
So, yeah, right. Like at that point, there. What was the name of the town that they?
Hobbs End.
Arriving in Hobbs End. So I had looked up earlier or whatever, like you guys know about all the Lovecraft references. I didn't know they had like direct ones necessarily until I looked up the names of all the books that Sutter Cane writes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just rattle them off really quick. The Whisper of the Dark is the same as Lovecraft's Whisper in Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
The Thing in the Basement is the same as the Thing on the Doorstep. The Haunter Out of Time is the Haunter of the Dark or the Shadow Out of Time. And Hobbs End Horror is the Dunwich Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Lovecraft. And there's another reference there, but I mean, I was only looking at Lovecraft stuff. I was telling Ray, I guess the last time we tried to record for this bit, that Kane's character to me seemed like it was, I guess, sort of a placeholder for Yog-Sothoth fucking character.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Because, or like to me, it sort of screamed that he had his last scene wherein like Kane almost acts like the key, also or like being right literally behind him when
Roland, speaking to the mic.
Shit, sorry.
Has that been the whole problem this whole time?
Sutter Cane.
Yeah, we identified it, bud.
Oops. So I mean, I'm like barely moving, son of a bitch. Well, so Sutter Cane's character to me was a bit like that. I guess
the Yog-Sothoth character.
Trying to think of fucking allegory for him. He's pretty. I don't think it's the right word. Trying to for Yog-Sothoth in that role. Well, I mean, I guess he'd be like a literal allegory.
Aren't you talking about Yawgmoth from Magic?
It's Mog Yototh. Yeah. But where did we leave off? Right. So they get to the fucking town, and at this point, Trent's character, he's still pretty nonchalant, I guess, about everything. Until
because he doesn't
he's a total skeptic. He's looking for the con because he's like,
and so
so for our listeners who may have not seen this, when it comes out like him discovering Hobbs End, he's just like, I got you, motherfucker. Like the whole time he's like, I got you, bitch. You know,
they get there and he's like, I told you it was here, whatever. And,
obviously he didn't see any of the shit that happened before they got there. I mean, even that when they're in that hotel. And he's
that's when
telling
she
her
starts
that
to notice things.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's like one of the things that he tries to prove her wrong on is that he's when you look out of the window, you're supposed to see the church, and he opens the window and it's just like a barn.
Like a barn.
And she tells him that you weren't reading close enough, and it's supposed to be on the east, and she opens it and the church is there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think where he about shits himself because.
Well, just a little bit of a squirt, you know.
A little bit, yeah. Like,
I mean, like I think it
really actually because he was still pretty like
I think he really starts to poke a turtle head out when he's like going downstairs and like sees the painting look weird.
Yeah, the painting, how it keeps like, shifting and really shit, yeah.
And then like right after that, he meets the receptionist owner lady or whatever in her I don't know what the hell to call it. Her inside out face, body. Or whatever.
Behind her? Yeah.
After.
Roland, going towards like after they see that church, they go to the church to kind of like see if Sutter Cane is there, and they find a posse of people going to.
There's a mob.
Church.
It's a mob. Yeah, it's a proper mob. Yeah.
Right. And Roland, you mentioned this the last time, and I didn't catch it, that the main guy who's leading the mob is...
Vigo.
Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah. What does he say to his kid? Johnny, no. Or Johnny, come back.
Johnny, no.
Yeah, it's like, no. He actually had a cool, like, the end of his role in the movie was cool. Like,
fuck yeah, that suicide role was awesome.
Yeah, if they had just left him in the bar,
me this way.
they wouldn't have needed to like
then eats a fucking
in the rest
bunch
of,
of buckshot.
What is
you
will
wouldn't
be.
have had to do that stupid shit in the church or whatever. Bring me my Johnny or whatever you said.
Well, it's because you wrote him that way.
What is will be no more.
Yeah. In his best off Vigo voice.
But so when they're at this church and there's a mob there that's demanding to see Sutter Cane or whatever, or the release of Sutter Cane,
right? So
and Vigo's there like my boy, or whatever.
Well, I mean, as it starts off though, sorry, but
with the kiddos.
When he talks to like they're right before, but when he talks to the receptionist lady, I'm sorry, I'm going way the hell back. He actually asks her about Sutter Cane, and she has no idea who she's like referring to, who he's referring to, and they just decide to go to that church randomly, right? Because, I mean, it besides the fact that like Styles turned out to be right about how she had the fucking geography of goddamn town from the book. They just fucking go decide to go to that church for no reason, right?
Why? No.
Like that's what I'm asking.
No. They're going to go investigate it for some fucking reason. But like, it's not. I don't think it's really explicit why they go out there.
So that was what I was trying to remember, and then it leads into to the church. Well, to the kids scene and then the church scene, but. The fucking you can't forget about the kids though, like those little like rat gremlin.
Yeah, the children of the corn embodied. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, the corn and fucking I don't know what the hell to call it. Like all those fucking teeth from eating a dog's leg or something like that.
Children of the soccer.
Yeah, apparently there was like a three-legged dog in there, and their mouths were all bloody. So facto. They were playing a little too rough or whatever. I don't know. Fuck. That'll be the next thing, man. Kids are fucking crazy with pets. So but they love them. And then I don't think they ever show up again, do they? That's
the kids.
The movie, yeah. Do they?
Yeah, they come out later on. Yeah, yeah. They're all more fucked up the next time around. Like,
they're way more aggressive and shit the next time.
But like their faces are all fucked up. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they are like that. So right,
and I think Roland, like one of the things we saw, or I saw, I think I showed it to you as well, where it goes through the covers. It shows like each of the characters have a kind of, or it shows like the progression of the story or the movie within the covers of those stories that Sutter Cane wrote.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
You remember
that? You mean when he's? Wait, what scene is that again? Sorry.
Well, it's not a scene. I mean,
no, just the covers of the book.
One of the observations that they had was that the covers of the books that Sutter Cane wrote kind of show the progression of the movie.
Yes. I think like the actual imagery from the titles of the books. Yeah. There was pictures of Trent's character. I think was on the last one.
Yeah, that one was called
literally on the last one. It's just him like running like it's him looking like a fucking lunatic. So it was sort of like a like a foreshadowing or whatever of the whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what the other ones were. I know one of them was the church, and I want to say that was. Hold on.
I'm trying to find the names of all the covers.
Yeah, I've got them right here. So,
in their particular order,
Hobbs and Porter, then the last Honor of Time, Sing in the Basement, Whisper of Dark. I just said them backwards.
The Haunter Out of Time, is that when he shows Linda Stiles the book? Because like I'm looking at the cover itself, and it shows her kind of like going crazy or going mad, kind of staring into a book
probably.
there.
Let me see. I have this up.
Actually, there's is it a Facebook group called the Paranormal Intelligence Bureau.
Huh.
And well, the last post that the last post that they have, or the post that's at the top, is called it says "This is Gold." Sutter Cane's book covers from In the Mouth of Madness, and this was February 13, 2017. And it just shows all the covers to In the Mouth of Madness.
I'm looking at it right here. Haunted Out of Time. Yeah, it's when Styles meets Sutter Cane finally, immediately following or leading up to it. Because that's when, like, basically her sense of self is just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
When she
now she was fucking mad,
realizes that she doesn't exist, as insofar as outside of the author's script, whatever he has or was reading. What are the other ones? Hobbs End Horror. Take a quick look at that. Fuck me, something better than that. But I guess not. Hobbs End Horror is just, it looks like kind of fucking demon thing running out of a church. Wasn't that supposed to be the one with the killer grandma inn owner?
One of them does have the killer lady in there
on the.
But yeah. So, I mean, I would say, like, to our listeners, I mean, go check out the covers. They look pretty cool. But you can see any kind of pulp type of horror.
Yeah, pulp horror
novel,
fiction bullshit.
Yeah, that kind of looks exactly like that.
In the thing in the basement. Yeah. Doop.
God damn it, Roland. We need to get both of us buy copies of what is it, Arkham Horror or no, Eldritch Horror. That's the world-based one.
Oh yeah,
and play that together for Cinekuest.
That would be a lot.
Because Ray, there's some board games that are totally Lovecraftian, like influenced. And shit. They're super fun.
We sell those at my place of business. So.
Yep. Oh, word! I didn't realize that they did. They had board games there. That's cool. I mean, I remember the basic Monopoly and shit, but like
actually,
no, we have a lot of shit there, man.
Actually, it would be perfect because Ray gets the discount, and those things cost.
I'm gonna cut that out of the fucking podcast.
All right, so those things. I mean, as far as like the movie is concerned, and like. Of course, I mean, we could go through like little pieces here and there. Like, what are your guys' favorite scenes that we can actually talk about? Well,
like,
I mean,
in the scope of things.
Pretty much when it gets interesting, like once they meet Sutter Cane, and then after Styles goes to meet him, pretty much how like the entire, how reality gets fucked after that is where I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, I know at some point he comes back and he doesn't like the guy who sent him, which is Charlton Heston's character, which is like the head of the publishing company. Yeah, he says that the girl wasn't even with him.
Right, when he finally fucking Theo escapes or whatever, and he goes back to talk to him. What does he tell him? That she doesn't exist, and then also that
he had sent the manuscript to him like weeks ago.
Yeah. When Trent's is like, okay, just don't publish. He asks him not to publish the book. I won't send it. I forget what he says. If he's like, I'm not going to give it to you or something. And that's when Charlton Heston's character responds with, you sent it to us a long time ago, and it's already out, son. And I think after that, doesn't he just sort of like get himself committed by killing some kid with an axe?
Yeah.
Forget what. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Who is he killing?
What, Ray?
You said you said he got committed by killing, and then he kind of cut off.
Some kid with an axe, right? Okay. Like he goes and then that's where it like jumps back to the beginning of the movie.
One of my favorite scenes, absolute favorites, was at one of the really early on in the movie, when the doctor who shows up to talk to Trent when he's in the nut house shows up, and Trent had only asked for a single black crayon. All he wrote was like crosses all over the fucking room, on himself, on his clothes and stuff.
I don't know.
But I like how the doctor's like, okay, well, nice show at like bullshit. Now let's talk about what's really going on. And then that doctor is totally set, like, ends up buying it, I think. And then like the things kill him in the fucking hallway of the mental hospital. But I think that scene early on where he just initially assumes that Trent is just making it so that they keep him in there. Right. So there's like that suspense of like, yeah, you're not crazy.
I mean,
you're trying to depict yourself as crazy. What actually happened? And I thought that was cool.
Try to understand about why the doctor not necessarily like so readily believes him as in so much as like he finds his story plausible is that maybe he had already known about like what I assume to be the build up to that point is like the trend of people turning into fucking like Sutter Cane fucking fanatics or whatever, like doing crazy shit to each other.
Or maybe just the announcement of the movie where like, who knows how long, John Trent was out of it and shit. And he's like, there's a movie. Because then the dude's point, like, oh shit, there is a movie. Fuck,
Right. But like, I mean, at that point, I'm just thinking about how all of his fucking fans have been cultified or whatever from his books.
Word.
And like that was like the fucking.
So like the riots are happening, it's bad out there, and then it's like, oh, here's the confirmation of how this went down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. So I can only assume that that's why the doctor was like, okay, fuck, like this sort of matches up with whatever it is. I imagine there were other people that the fucking doctor may have interviewed or like other forms of information that they've pulled from like all this kind of weird shit or whatever that apparently is more than likely happening with fucking Sutter Cane mania kind of crap that's going.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about quickly the end of the movie. We do see Trent's character. He escapes and he ends up in the movie theater, in which he's going to go see the movie called In the Mouth of Madness, in which he's pretty much looking at his own story,
his whole life. Yeah,
and it ends with him laughing
so
hysterically. It's a perfect ending to this movie
because it takes some of the earlier, things that Trent believed, at the movie, and like
actually, you know what made that movie perfect? If he was laughing so hard, he choked on the popcorn he was eating and died.
The director's cut.
That's
the
I can see
cut.
John Carpenter's humor in that last bit. If that was on the cutting room floor, he's like, "What did he just choke?" Like he just choked, like,
dude. Right. So John Carpenter, let us know if you're still alive. I actually don't know.
He is.
Oh, so hey man, and Sam Neill, let us know if that was a scene you filmed.
Right.
So kind of like the post I have.
That's a good post, yeah.
Well, dude, like I tried to get Billy Corgan to maybe get some attention to us for our Smashing Pumpkins episode we're going to do later today with my bald ass head. God damn it.
So, yeah. So towards...
Yeah, Roland, do you know what I did? Did I tell you? I don't think I did.
I saw pictures.
We just saw a picture of you doing it, but I don't know if you proclaimed
saw the Twitter post I put out.
Oh. I need to get
so... I shot a photo of myself completely, bald headed, and then said I was all dolled up for the Smashing Pumpkins episode. And then I tagged Billy Corgan's like official bullshit. I mean, I got Eric Idle to say hello to me after a random post, so maybe we can get, well, did that vampire guy?
He'll send you he'll send you a leather skirt or whatever in the mail.
Nah, he'll just send me like, here's this lotion I used whenever I cut the fuck out of my head when I shaved it myself too. I understand your pain. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be.
Because I'm not gonna lie, there were times where I was like, "Oh, I've got more hair to shave," and then I kind of like run my hand over. It's like, "Oh no, that's just blood running from my head." because I had my glasses off and it was all like shaving creamed up and shit. So I was like, deceptive.
Shitty.
It was an interesting experience.
That's why you got to use shaving lotion, man. You can see even after you suds up the lotion, as opposed to Barbasol or whatever you were hacking away.
Lotion is what rich people use in their hands to keep them soft because they don't work.
I thought it was because they were just nice to themselves that much or whatever. You know, you don't want to crank one out with dry skin. It's uncomfortable.
No, you use the lotion and maybe there's a byproduct of like soften up your hands a little bit, but that's not the purpose of it.
Not the direct. Okay, I got you.
No, that's
I can't argue with that flawless man logic there. That's good. But I did want to ask, I guess, now that we're on that topic or not, what was your favorite?
Who are you asking?
I don't think I said Daniel, right?
That would be Ray. I just talked about my favorite scene, dude. We talked about it for like actually way longer than I thought we would.
Yeah. Can you just sort of like bring me back to that? Because
when the psychiatrist that went to go interview Trent in the early movie was like, bullshit, you're not crazy, just because we saw the crosses.
Okay.
I thought that was awesome, but I mean the rest of the movie is amazing, but I think that was just a nice little setup for the film.
Okay. You thought,
and,
all right, I can see
and it tied itself together when he got annihilated by the elders, you know, that were in hiding, and I thought that was just badass.
Sure. Okay.
Because they're like, oh, he's in the secret. He knows what's up. Like, fuck you. Nom 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 time.
It was all, yeah, like I'd mentioned before, it was all pretty good after, I guess they basically get to the town. But my favorite part of the movie was actually when Sutter Cane tears his face off, however you would describe that.
Yeah, he turns in like the page or some shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, he tears himself like his face off, and it like he also at the same time merges or takes on the form, or always was the door behind him. Right. He was standing in that room that I guess holds back whatever fucking things that he was able to make contact with with his fucking writing.
Mm-hmm.
That I really liked, like I'd mentioned before, how it breaks the fourth wall, because instead of, well, like first, right, he rips his face off like it's a page. So you're like, okay, it's a book. It shows you outside of the torn page, it also happens to be a door, and it folded in. It's a folded in page of a book. You can see letters on the side of it, of the tear.
Yeah, there's writing, and what sucked is that like I paid attention to the writing, and there was never a Trent or whatever like in the narration. So maybe it was like one of the other books that was like a Sutter Cane novel that was like written out. Yeah, but yeah, so I paid attention to that, and like and from the snippets and shit, it just was like random kind of like you could tell it was like kind of horror fiction in tone, but I thought it would have been better if it like allied to Trent. Like more direct or directly, period.
Did either of you guys laugh at the scene where after Linda Stiles basically accepts her madness and rolled in as non-existent, Trent tries to leave town with her, and she causes him to like lose control and pull the car over, and does that contortionist act or whatever.
Yeah.
As she's chasing him. Did you guys laugh at that? Because I
laugh. I didn't laugh. I just thought it was.
I thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, oh, what is that? Like, are they like what's the sound of her bones twisting around? Is that like somebody stepping on crackers or? I read.
Like I said, silly.
Yeah, because like,
I didn't laugh. I just thought it was cool.
So it looked cool, but it was also it was someone like wearing their clothes on backwards and like with like a mannequin head put on backwards. It just sort of like bobbed around like a fucking retarded bird. I'm not really sure.
You know, like when you're making movies like this and you need someone to do that, you're fairly happy that you know a contortionist person, you know. That's when they come in handy, you know.
Like those like ballet people or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean like probably those circus
people.
Circus freaks, you know.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to go there, but we're there now, and so hooray.
Well, you're the one who called them freaks. We just call them circus people.
I didn't
you
say
fucking
that.
bigot.
That was
you
fucking
just
hooray.
did.
I said circus people.
You said freaks.
I must have said circus freaks then.
I said people.
That must have been me who said that.
Oh, I assumed it was Roland. Just
I love all the freaks.
I can understand how you would make that mistake, Daniel. Actually, that's fine.
Anybody who's been in a room with you for 5 minutes would fucking come to that assumption for the rest of their life, man.
Maybe that's plausible.
Okay, so let's talk about ratings. Since again we're doing like a tight 45. We're about
tight episode,
a little over 45. Yeah. So,
like a toy.
I'm sorry. As far as IMDb ratings is concerned, this movie got a 7.2 out of 10, which is pretty good considering it's a.
Can you go over how much money the movie like?
Well, it had a budget of $8 million and made $8.9 million back.
Fuck. So it was
a little bit.
Just made their money back,
It became a cult hit or whatever after the fact, like so many of these fucking films, didn't it? I don't know that it ended up making more money, if anything, from that, from like DVD sales or whatever, VHS tapes. But I know that's how it ended up rising in popularity from that point, not from its movie box office premiere or whatever. But yeah, no. So that was
no. I mean, most of John Carpenter's movies, again, unless you're fucking Halloween or Halloween,
did he?
You don't have like another hit.
Did he do Season of the Witch?
No, he didn't do Season of the Witch. And I mean, look, he was. I think he was attached to it as a producer, but I mean, the whole point of Halloween was to make it into an anthology movie. But the only reason he did a second Michael Myers Halloween is because that's what the fans wanted. So after that was done and they allegedly killed him off, that's when they jumped into the next Halloween 3 Season of the Witch movie, which is one of my favorites. It's a really good movie, but people hate it because there's no Michael Myers. And then you have part 4 because people bitched about it enough. The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 4, blah, 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 blah. So... but yeah, so it had a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Again, budget of $8 million. A gross, I guess, worldwide was $8.9 million. So it just barely made its money back.
Jeez.
And so we want to go with our ratings. And this is a really good movie. It's unfortunate that these movies kind of get forgotten. And I'm pretty sure it was marketed against some kind of huge blockbuster at the time. I don't know what, but more than likely it is.
I'm sure it'll get a reboot at some
point.
And
like at that particular time, horror was kind of in a down slope. Wasn't very popular.
It was like the era of the action movie, really.
Yeah. Or like the.
Or I mean,
the grunge.
Grunge action.
The grunge movie, and I say that because like. I think at that time a lot of movies like Reality Bites and Singles, all these young 21 or 20-ish aged people looking for love, can't find jobs. It was those kinds of movies that were coming out at the time.
Right.
So, Daniel, what is your 1 out of 5 rating for In the Mouth of Madness?
4.25.
4.25, all right.
And I don't have a thing to call it, like a 4.25 blues, but
this movie didn't have like a specific call out, like a character or situation to glob onto. I feel like as a whole, it's just a good movie. For me personally, like I didn't really have too many favorite scenes, it's just a kind of
I'm giving it a 4.25 kind of because of that, because overall it's a great movie, but the 0.75 I am pulling off is just because I really like Lovecraftian themed bullshit, and so I'm taking that out of the equation for this just being like a fun, like kind of like sci-fi horror kind of film in general. But just every time there was kind of like a Lovecraftian looking thing or reference, I was just like, yes.
Have you seen Event Horizon by chance?
I may have once upon a time, but I may have not. Like,
I think you might enjoy that one. It's really good, and I know Roland's proclaimed that it being like one of his top 10 movies that he loves.
Yeah, I can't think of a scene or whatever the fuck.
You remember if you did, like a lot of that movie's basically The Thing in space.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
a little bit of Hellraiser, I guess. Or
yeah. And Roland, what about you?
I'll get around to it, I guess.
What do you give this movie as a rating?
I'll give it a 3.8. I actually really liked it a lot. But it wasn't really one of those movies that I sat there and like really paid attention to. I just played it and it was kind of going on in the background, and I kept up with most of it.
This movie
it was just one of those movies that I don't know, like it wasn't amazing, but it was still like very good.
Yeah.
Thing.
This movie and like again, Prince of Darkness are ones of John Carpenter's that get forgotten that even exist, and it's one of those, and it's way better than Prince of Darkness for sure.
Sure.
But
and I remember I said on the last episode, and I'll say it again. I like it better than The Thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bold statement from a
bold statement.
I mean, not really. Like coming from you, I'm not necessarily surprised. You tend to go with a bit more of a for lack of a better term, like a total description for everything for your Daniel. So like the plot.
What the fuck are you talking about? A total description?
Well, yeah,
Jesus Christ. Like a total description, Ray. Please tell me how that makes sense.
So like the thing,
hey,
like,
you're a total description today. Oh, thanks,
like,
mate.
I meant as like how you fucking like fart through movies or whatever, man. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Like I like The Thing the most for out of all of these because like I mostly glom onto the fucking body horror and the fucking effects that they use or practical effects they use. But like I would have to say objectively that the Mouth of Madness is probably a better movie all around because there's more story, more dialogue. Like it's got a lot of the same fucking like designs that they use for the the creature feature shit from the other movies. But again, like it's got everything sort of like just in more of, goddammit. So yeah, I wasn't gonna have to explain all this
apologize
bullshit
to me in this.
Oh, I'm not. Fuck you. I'm not apologizing at all for anything. I'm just annoyed that I have to go at length to explain my bullshit and fucking goddammit.
Because it doesn't make you're a total description, Roland.
There you go. Thank you. I understand.
Fuck you, man. Yeah, because it came out of some weird Roland-landia thought. Fuck you, man.
Like, there was like 3 different fucking subtexts to that statement, Daniel. Wow, thank you. Man.
And Roland, I know, but I'm playing with the one I'm going to dick with you with.
Wow, all of that. So much information.
You're such a total description.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, I know.
I'll just real quick again because I did this already. It's 4 out of 5 for me. It's one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. I've seen it quite a few times, and Sam Neill's really good in it. I love all the Lovecraftian Roland allusions, and yeah. I mean, it's just a good movie all around, and it's unfortunate that all the other folks that were a part of The Thing didn't get to be a part of this one because they really like this movie as well. So hopefully we can get them individually on the concludium. It's Roland's words, not mine.
Yeah,
and
I made one good.
Yeah, you make word good. You make good word.
Make strong word, solid word.
Make strong word, solid word. The best words.
Start fire, make fire, put food.
So
make
let's.
Being good.
And I mentioned this the last time.
Fuck you, man.
I mentioned this the last time, Roland. Again, I'm pretty sure you are excited about this one. The next horror trilogy that we are gonna tackle is the Cornetto trilogy, and that is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. Roland, I think one of your favorite movies.
That is absolutely one of his favorite movies. Yes, I can attest to that.
At World's End.
Hot Fuzz is one of my. And At the World's End is up there too.
And we have a special episode planned out for At World's End, and we'll discuss it more as we get closer to that.
Can't wait. That's going to be so fun, guys.
Yeah, it really is. So, again, follow us on social media at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moquest Studios.
Name one, we got it. Just not on MySpace. But all the others, we got one, basically.
And if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, we'll have more special episodes coming soon that you can hopefully
think about us behind a paywall, guys. If you think we're okay now, think about us behind a paywall, the potential.
Yeah,
like,
that's
debauchery.
a lot of unedited bullshit that comes along with
oh God,
our nonsense. So again, that's at Patreon/Moquest Studios. You can, again, you want to give $1, that's fucking awesome if you do that. Any kind of contribution helps greatly. And I believe we're still working with the YouTube thing. We don't have powerful computers, so it's taking a long time for us to get shit out there.
So a Patreon donation would actually help towards that, guys.
Yeah,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. And you can stop Jamie from dipping into his money and making outrageously frivolous purchases. Mind you, that doesn't bother any of us, but I mean, I worry about his financial things.
Fine.
But anyways,
I know Jamie's like a cockroach. He'll survive the nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah.
Okay, so
one roach to rule them all.
You will hear us on the next Cinekuest, in which we do another villains best and worst. And again, we're going to start our new horror trilogy, the Cornetto trilogy. Get ahead of those movies. Check them out if you haven't. Right now, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are doing a little amended scene coronavirus situation. And take heed to the announcement at the very beginning of this episode. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Yeah, and actually, it's something that
it's easy. Soap, water.
I know I have joked about it a lot, but this is something that do kind of worry about it, guys. Wash your fucking hands. Just do that.
Stay home.
And stay the fuck away from people. Just go out for shit you need, like beer, fucking cigarettes, fucking pot, like groceries.
I like how groceries is the fourth thing.
The last
in that
groceries, water.
Well, there's always money for beer, and
we didn't say water.
As long as they don't shut the bills off,
stop buying fucking toilet paper.
And quit buying bottled water, you fucking idiots.
You don't need that shit. Drink water. Water worked good from tap. Yes. Go.
Okay.
That's how fucking people are, right? Like shopping for shit all over the place right now. Like we were just talking about that earlier. It's fucking gotta be shitting me. People out and around the corner, like into the parking lot, fucking lining up to get their turn, like picking up some baby wipes.
I never thought in my life I'd see unless it was like some bullshit special event where you can only buy X amount of something. Right. And they're doing that for fucking toilet paper, guys. Yeah. Toilet paper. Fuck you, man. It's a respiratory disease. You don't need to wipe your ass more because of it. Fuck you.
Right. If anything, you want to use less, you want to touch less. Get a bidet. Just splash yourself with some.
It's almost like someone buying an excessive amount of condoms for this respiratory disease, just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I've got a cough. Oh, I better go get some for some condoms for my Magnum dong.
On that note,
for you got to save them up for the rest of the year.
All right, we'll be signing off. My name is Ray.
It's an apocalypse survival tool because you get the non-lubricated kinds, and so they can work as water canteens.
That's right.
And you put them in a sock, then the sock kind of acts as a little bit of a cushion, so it doesn't pop your water bag just because it fucking I
mean, because you could do that with the lubed condoms, fill them up with water, but then you get lube in the water.
Exactly.
All right.
Infusion things from Dasani, but it's not. It's sour.
The two of you sign off already. Say bye. Go ahead.
See ya.
See you guys.
All right. Bye.
I mean, we could have kept the bit going.
Oh, for sure.
Actually,
dude.
that probably would be good to like. That'd probably be good for you to clip off, Ray, and then save that for later.
Nah, I keep it in. It's great because we're all serious about coronavirus, and then we make all these bullshit things about.
Yeah, because people are idiots, and that's
I like it.
I mean, people too. So